Will there be a transfer portal homecoming for Michigan and Dante Moore? Many people thought for years and years Moore would be the quarterback of the future after J.J. McCarthy. He went out to UCLA, kind of flipped there from Oregon, who he spurned Michigan for 2 summers ago, summer of 2021. 2022 actually, I believe it was. Came down to Michigan and Oregon, and then, of course, on signing day, he flipped over to UCLA, played as a freshman at UCLA this year, started quite a few games, but ultimately was actually benched and now is in the transfer portal. The Detroit prospect, 5-star, top 5 player in the 2023 class, Jim Harbaugh, if you remember, offered him summer of 2018, June of 2018, to be precise, when he was after his 7th grade year going into 8th grade. Now, could he be Michigan's quarterback of the future after J.J. McCarthy? We'll get all into that and how it affects Bryce Underwood and potentially even Jadyn Davis, Michigan's 4-star, I call him a 6-star, but 4-star 2024 quarterback commit. Before we do that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're at 29,646. Quick math, we need 354 more subscribers to hit that big 30,000 subscriber number. It is the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Let's talk some transfer portal, some NIL, some recruiting, all coming up right now. Day 3 of the transfer portal, and it is red hot. It is piping hot, and we are going to talk about how it impacts Michigan, at least in my opinion, the position of need that Michigan needs to focus on and get their cards in order from recruiting 2024, 2025, transfer portal, and the future with J.J. McCarthy is, of course, that quarterback position. Later on the show, we're going to talk about the future, right? Bryce Underwood, the next 5-star quarterback in the state of Michigan that, has been 1-2 right there with the Wolverines, one of his top 2 or 3 schools for years at this point. The 3-time, state finalist, at least. Bryce Underwood won 2 state titles, freshman and sophomore. Didn't get it done this year, actually lost in the state championship game. He will be entering his senior year next fall, still a junior in high school. But let's talk about the college players right now. Dante Moore, the buzz, the him to Michigan, it is for real. The Michigan coaches, players on the roster now, guys he knows from when he was in high school around the Detroit area, Michigan football coaching staff. There has been multiple conversations with coaches, with players over the last 48 hours since the transfer portal got going. And so what do we know? 1 season at UCLA, and I think the biggest thing that I've heard from direct sources and indirect in the last couple hours is that he's now on text chains with guys from the city of Detroit or greater Detroit, Ann Arbor area that are current stars of the Michigan football team. Now, I'm not going to mention any names specifically, but if I were to mention them, guys like Will Johnson, maybe Makari Page in that area, how about Diamond Edwards, etc. You guys know the guys who are from the state of Michigan, from the greater Detroit area. I'm not saying any one of those were on these text chains, but those are the rumors out there for Michigan and Dante Moore. Now, as we said, number 2 quarterback in the 2023 class, top 5 player. I think this has been kind of coming for so long. Him coming and being the next quarterback at Michigan. I'm feeling it. I actually think that it's more likely than not it is going to happen, because even if J.J. McCarthy comes back, they could potentially even redshirt Dante Moore, make him that promise in advance, say to him, hey, Dante, we'll get you in 4 games. We'll get you a lot of playing times in 4 games if you are, in fact, the backup quarterback, right? He might have to compete with Jadyn Davis, Jaden Denegal, of course, Orgy in the end zone, Davis Warren, etc. But if he's the talent that we all think he is, right? 5-star quarterback, higher rated coming out of high school than J.J. McCarthy himself, you would think he'd be a shoo-in for the backup quarterback role in 2024 if J.J. McCarthy comes back. If not, then he might get shoved into the starter role, and Michigan's going to have to kind of live or die with him, but have at least 2 seasons, if not 3, to be the starting quarterback in Michigan. Maybe won't impact Jadyn Davis as much as some might think. Also, could potentially be work out with Bryce Underwood, given that they are 2 years apart, 2023 and 2025. More on Dante Moore, Jadyn Davis, the Bryce Underwoods. But before we do, we have been challenged. Michigan is playing Alabama. And us here at Chat Sports, we have got an Alabama football show as well on YouTube. And since they saw on our big board today that we were doing a video on recruiting and transfer portal and NIL, they said, hey, we'll challenge you guys. Let's do challenge here at the company. We bet you won't get more likes than our transfer portal video from last week. If you see this video, we're going to put it down in the comments and the description, the link to go watch it if you want to. If you go over there and type Go Blue in the comments, I'm not going to be mad at you at all. I actually encourage that. You see this one, link is down in the comments in the description. They got 1,130 likes on it, 1,130 likes. So to help us out, go like today's video so we could beat them. We'll have a staff meeting coming up next Monday. I don't want Alabama to get the win on YouTube, because if they do, they're probably going to get the win in the field. Let's beat Alabama on YouTube, then go beat them on the field in about a little less than 4 weeks, 26 days to be precise. Michigan, Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Give us a like in this video. Hell, go down in the comments, click on the Alabama video, give them a dislike on there. It's not saying you should, but you probably should. Dante Moore, though. Had an up and down season last year. I think the biggest complaint, the biggest pause for Michigan football fans, and potentially even the Michigan staff, is, well, he just wasn't that good as a true freshman. Now, is that his fault? Is that the fault of Chip Kelly, the head coach, offensive coordinator at UCLA? Is that the fault of the players around him at UCLA? It's tough to say, but when he got benched, after 8 or so games, the writing was on the wall. The pause for me are twofold. Number one, completion percentage 53.5%. That's pretty brutal, right? That's John O'Corn level on his worst day completion percentage. The other one, there was 9 picks. I think like 5 of them or something like that were returned for pick sixes. The last time I checked, which is admittedly like 3 or 4 weeks ago, is Dante Moore led the entire country, all of college football, in throwing the most pick sixes. So it was like 4 or 5. That might not have held up as he didn't really play the last 2-3 games of the season. But keep an eye out for this one. I don't think there's going to be a ton of leakage coming out in the next few days, next week or so, from the Michigan side, from the Dante Moore side. Now, his high school coach did a couple media interviews in the last 24 hours. Saw one headline that said Michigan is the perfect fit. His high school coach, he was his offensive coordinator when he was in high school. The coach at his high school said, in certain terms, I told Dante, we need to be smart and we need to not worry about what other people think and are pushing us in different directions, not worry about the name, image, and likeness package that they're putting together. Because you took that when you went to UCLA. You listened to people that said, go to Oregon for NIL. No, go to UCLA, California, get the big NIL money. Where did it shake out? Look for the school that's going to put the most talent around you, Michigan, be able to win, Michigan, and in an offensive set that you were familiar with. If you didn't know this, Detroit King High School, where he went, does not run some 5 wide receiver set. They run under center a lot, and they run a lot of the same concepts of 1 or 2 tight ends that the University of Michigan football takes. My takeaway on this is don't promise him anything. Recruit him hard. Recruit him very hard, just like he did when he was in high school, but don't promise him anything. I don't want to get in the same situation like he had in UCLA where he thinks he's going to come in and be a millionaire from day 1 and be a starter from day 2 and all this stuff. Make him work for it. But yes, take him, right? Don't promise him anything. Make him work for the playing time if he comes, but absolutely take him. I don't care who else it impacts, and that's just my take on that. We're going to talk about J.J. McCarthy's decision and the Bryce Underwood rumors coming up in just one moment. But before we did, I did want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks, our big sponsor for the 2023 football season. I love Prize Picks. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy. It's the simplest, too. You just pick more or less on player stats to win 25 times your money. Mitchell Trubisky and Bailey Zappi. I let one of our guys here at Chat Sports make the picks for me on the NFL since there's no college football this weekend other than Army-Navy. We're going Mitchell Trubisky. He's getting the start for the Steelers. We're going less than 181.5 yards. How about Bailey Zappi? It's kind of like the worst offensive performance. This is Thursday Night Football tomorrow, right, Jack? Thursday Night Football game. Steelers, Patriots. Gosh, that'll just be like Iowa playing Iowa in a football game. It's going to be terrible. We're going less on both those. 156.5 yards. This looks like Iowa stats right here. I mean, 156.5 yards for an NFL quarterback. That's why they're backups. That's why both these teams' offenses absolutely stink. So I'm just going with the obvious ones here with our guy sent me. Less and less. I picked 2 of those. I bet I put in $10, put in $5, put in $25. I can win money with Prize Picks. It's that simple. I can launch the Prize Picks app and get my picks in under 60 seconds, especially when there's only 1 or 2 games on, like Thursday Night Football, 1 game. Monday Night Football coming up, there's actually 2 games. You can pick 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on the stats, whether it's yards, whether it's touchdowns, hell, even interceptions. PrizePicks.com/CLNS is the place to go. Link is down in the comments and the description. I love Prize Picks, and you will love, too, that they're giving you up to a $100 first deposit match. So you put in $100, boom, you got an extra 100 to start winning with Prize Picks. You put in 50, they're going to match you 50. Up to a $100 match. Use promo code CLNS. That's promo code CLNS at PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Link is down in the comments and in the description. Let's keep it rolling here on the Michigan Football Reporters. We are talking quarterback, rumors, NIL, and transfer portal. Let's just kind of ponder, what might the quarterback position, the depth chart, look like next year if Dante Moore in fact came to Michigan and J.J. McCarthy did in fact return for his senior season. McCarthy, of course, would be the starter. And I don't think any of the players on Michigan's roster right now would beat out the two-star recruits that would come in both this spring, but obviously be two classes apart. Dante Moore, 2023 recruit, and Jadyn Davis, 2024. I think that would set up this depth chart: 1, 2, 3, 5-star, 5-star, high 4-star. But in my rankings, of course, he is a 6-star in Jadyn Davis. But I personally don't care about landing Dante Moore and what it means to risking Davis. I've seen this on social media. I've seen people send me screenshots of different websites and message boards saying, hey, they say if we land Dante Moore and he comes before, commits to Michigan before signing day, Jadyn Davis is going to go somewhere else. So even if he commits to Michigan after signing day, Davis is going to ask out of his letter of intent, want to go somewhere else. I don't care. Frankly, I don't care. I don't think Jadyn Davis is good enough to be the starting quarterback at Michigan next year. So they're going to have to take a transfer portal quarterback, or you're going to end up with Alex Orji or Davis Warren and leading a 7-5 Michigan team because they have absolutely no offense. Dante Moore is a high-level talent. If Michigan would have committed him, if he would have committed to Michigan last year, he'd be the unquestioned successor to J.J. McCarthy. And if that means losing Jadyn Davis, okay, Michigan's already got one quarterback committed for the 2025 class. They can even go out and get a second one in, either later this cycle, maybe a lower-rated guy than Jadyn Davis, or get somebody who's kind of lagging out there, lingering around come the February 7th signing day in the 2024 class. So if it meant losing Jadyn Davis, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, in my opinion. It's a brand new era of college football. Let me ask you guys this question. How interested are you guys in more videos about recruiting and transfer portal videos this month in December? Got 26 days to the game, Michigan, Alabama. So let me know. We don't always do a ton of recruiting. It's not really our forte, but if you want more information, I'll reach out to my sources, figure some stuff out, and keep bringing you information. Scale it 1 to 10, though. If we get, we don't get more than half 9 and 10s, that means it's obvious sign that you guys aren't interested in more videos like this. Big story in the last 24 hours is the Bryce Underwood buzz. And by the way, Jack, there was a source-off yesterday. A source-off between slippery, sloppy scam web and E.J. Holland. It was an on-3, 24/7 scout rivalry. 24/7 was saying, oh, hey, we've got Bryce Underwood. We got a source. He's at Michigan right now. He's in the film room with the Michigan coaches watching film. On3 then says, oh, hey, that's not true. We've got a guy at Bellevue right now. We caught up with him in the parking lot. We're talking to Bryce Underwood right now in the Bellevue parking lot. He's out at Michigan. And then 24/7 comes back. Oh, no, we didn't say he was there right now. We said he's going to go, but he's got to finish school. And then they come back the other side and say, that's not true. He didn't go at all. And they just went back and tried to source off. I don't know who was right at this point, but I kept seeing the screenshots all over Twitter yesterday. And, of course, Webb and E.J. Holland were taking shots at each other. I don't care about either one of them, but anybody's an enemy of Sam, enemy of me. But the rumors are still hot. He was in Ann Arbor for Michigan, Ohio State. How can he take in that environment and not be at least interested for playing for Michigan? As they've been on a 3-game winning streak his entire high school career at this point. His commitment date is 1 day from today. 1 month from today, I should say. 1 day from today. 1 month from today. He's committing on January 6th. 2024. Why do you think he picked that date, Jack? You think he's a big J6er, trying to the 3-year anniversary of Jan 6? I think it's his grandpa's birthday is what he has actually said. Now, the crystal balls, what the blog boys put in, or whatever they call them now, they've all been predicting that he is going to land at LSU. The reports have been pretty solid that LSU has put all their eggs in one basket. They're probably, after Saturday night, going to say, hey, in the last 5 college football seasons, we are the school that have had 2 separate styles and 2 separate quarterbacks that have won the Heisman Trophy at your position, even though Brian Kelly wasn't the coach of Joe Burrow. Say, hey, back in 2019, Joe Burrow, pure pocket passer, Heisman Trophy, LSU. Right, Michigan's been doing it with cornerbacks for years, right? Hey, Charles Woodson, Heisman Trophy, we're cornerback you. I get it. And then Jayden Daniels, different skill set, right? Bryce Underwood isn't a statue, but he's not necessarily a true dual threat like Jayden Daniels. He's likely to win the Heisman coming up on Saturday using a different skill set, different coach. They're going to say, you want to get the big bucks, you want to be a top 5 draft pick, don't go to Michigan, come to LSU, and we're going to have huge money waiting for you to come down to our school. So that's the kind of word on there. More on this story. We'll ask you guys this question. 1 month till January 6th, a very important day in the history of American college football recruiting. Where will Bryce Underwood end up? What will his decision be on January 6th? Give me an M in the comments for Michigan. Give me an L for LSU. I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm still going to say Michigan, although I think like the weight's like 70%, I would say, is the betting markets. Maybe if they had those for this, would be like 70% likely LSU, 30% Michigan at this point. Let me know what you guys think, M or L. If all these things potentially transpired, it could, one could impact the other, could impact the other, could be dominoes. What JJ does could impact what Dante Moore does, could impact what Jadyn Davis does, what Moore, etc. You guys kind of get it. What is absolutely best for Michigan? No question is to get all these guys, right? But how would it happen? What would be the best for how it would play out? It would be that JJ McCarthy stays. So you have the best team in 2024, but also that you don't turn off Bryce Underwood, because if Jadyn Davis came in and started as a true freshman and did good, or Dante Moore came in next year and started as a true sophomore, Underwood would know that, hey, there's almost no chance I'm going to be the starting quarterback as a true freshman, and maybe not even as a true sophomore. I wouldn't have a chance I'd have an incumbent starter. So with that being said, he's going to be at Michigan. Underwood will be January of 2025. J.J. McCarthy might be leading Michigan to the back-to-back national championship games at that point. And then, boom, even though Dante Moore and Jadyn Davis both could have a year in the system at Michigan at that point under their belts, Underwood could come in. January would be his senior year as an early enrollee, and the three of them could battle it out during spring, during summer in 7-on-7s, and then in fall camp, and he'd have a chance, honestly, to win the starting job. After that, of course, I think at least two of those three guys would probably transfer after the 2025 season, but that's the best case scenario for Michigan. Might be its pipe dream. It might be a wild scenario out there to get all four of those guys. Wouldn't be on the roster at the same time, of course. Underwood and JJ will have no overlap, but hell, maybe this time next year, Underwood enrolls early, gets a couple practice snaps in for Michigan as they're going for their second straight national championship in the 2024 season. One thing to keep eye out with Underwood is that he's got a couple of his teammates once committed to Michigan. He's got other teammates that are interested in Michigan in both the 2024 and 2025 class. As Michigan takes in-home visits with those prospects over the next 12 days, right? I think the dead period for recruiting, I believe, is on the 18th, right? The day before, 18th, I think it's the Friday before signing day, which is the following Wednesday. That's the dead period where there's no more in-home visits. If Underwood sits in on those or goes to his teammate's house to sit in for those Michigan pitches, gives Michigan an extra chance to recruit him, I think you should take that as a very good sign that he might end up in Michigan. If he does not and doesn't make another trip to Michigan between now and December 18th, I think that's writing on the wall that he's going to end up in LSU on January 6th. We'll have more videos tomorrow, Friday, this weekend as well. I've got a big scoop on Jim Harbaugh and when his contract deadline might be. As soon as I get some more information on that, we'll have a video for you. So make sure you guys subscribe to the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Till then, go Blue.